Okay, so y'all saw the video, hopefully, where I foraged for the autumn olives. And now I have them at home. And I've washed them all, so now I have to, I'm going to work on de-stemming them. It's not, I don't think it's overly important to get all the stems, but I want to get as many of them, as I can. Leave one or two, that's fine. But there are a good bit of stems in here on these berries yet. So that is first things first with making this autumn olive jelly is moist them. So that's done. Next is de-stem them. See, there's not too many there. There's a piece of grass, but whatever. Anyhow. Yep, so I need 10 cups of these berries. So I got a lot of berries picking through here. So with that, I'm going to gather up 10 cups. This here measuring cup will hold 2 at a time. And that'll be plenty sufficient enough to work in. And as I gather them, they'll go straight into the pan. Because like I said, they've already been cleaned. Plus they're from the backfield. Ain't nothing back here but birds flying over. Maybe a squirrel. I don't really know. But yeah, there we go. Just going to keep on picking and de-stemming, and then I'll show you why here shortly as we work on processing them. Okay, so what we're doing here is the autumn olive jam. I kept saying jelly, but it's actually jam because I'm not going to strain out all the pulp out of it, just pretty much the seeds and what pieces of skin will come. 3 pounds of berries. They said it's about 10-11 cups. Honestly, it's easier for me to just measure out 10 cups than it is to measure out 3 pounds because of my scale. 3 cups of water, 2 to 3 cups of sugar, depending on how sweet you like it. I like my autumn olives a little bit on the bitter side, kind of like a sour cherry almost. So I will probably start with 2 cups, give it a taste, and see what I think. So anyhow, place your berries and water in a pot and squish them. And mash them while you're cooking. Bring them to a boil, stir 1 to 2 minutes while fruit falls apart. So they said it falls apart pretty good, but honestly, it's better to just kind of take my hands here and give them a little squeeze to make sure I get them busted up, because this is a lot of berries in here. This is only 4 cups. So I wanted to do part of it now and then do part of it again when I put more in here. That way it's not going, missing a bunch. I don't want to not have all this juice that I need to make the jam with. Oh, I shot myself with juice. So anyhow, you see what I'm getting at here? Just squish them. Oh. It's a good thing everybody knows this. I'm a sloppy canner because I am just putting juice all over the place here. It's a mess. Anyhow, first of all, as y'all are looking at this is my jam. Secondly, my hands are very, very clean. I've washed them 48 times since I've started cleaning stems on these berries and doing everything else I'm working on. So, with that. Now, these have been picked a couple days. They've been sitting in a bucket in the fridge after I had washed them and everything. So, they are darker than they were when I first picked them. So, that means these are going to be a little bit sweeter than they were the day I picked them, because not all of them are completely ripe. But the other method to use to do this with is a tater masher. Oop. Got 2 different ones. We're going to go with this one today. So, anyhow, you can hear me busting them up in there. But that's what we're going to do. We're just going to work on busting these berries up. And then as I cook them, and then they come to that boil, they'll fall apart even better. And I'll get the juice I need out of them. Meantime, though, just keep on cleaning stems and squishing and mashing berries. We'll be back at it. Okay, so I've got 6 cups in here now. I'm going to go ahead and put the water in. It's 3 cups of water. I still got to go 4 more cups of berries. But I am I'm trying to minimize my amount of time that I'm working here. So with that, I'm just going to let them start simmering. Just cook them slow right now until I get all 10 cups in here. And then we'll turn it up and get them going on the boil. But in the meantime, maybe it'll start separating out and we'll get some good juice going. Now, with it being the jam, it should have this pretty vibrant red color to it. But we'll see. Otherwise, I'm going back to cleaning more berry stems. Okay, so I got 2 cups of sugar ready to go. You can see here. And this here is your sugar-free pectin. Because if I do, what's the word? Regular pectin, I have to use more sugar. If that makes sense to you. It's like a cup of sugar to whatever. Anyhow, so in this recipe I have calls for the sugar-free pectin so that I can actually use less sugar in the recipe. So, I mean, it looks just the exact same, so I'm not real sure what the difference is, except for the fact the box is pink and it says, for use in less or no sugar needed recipes. So, that's the reason. So clearly I am at the part where I'm mashing still with the 3 cups of water. Let me get myself back over here. You can see the seeds starting to come out and float around in here. Them seeds are big. They take up 3/4 of the berry in itself here. So, I'm just cooking this until it's full boiling, and then I'll pull the juice and the pulp and stuff out of it, and then we'll put it all back in the pan, and I'll have to have measured out 6 cups of the pulp and juice. So I should get about 6 cups of the pulp and juice, add back into a pot with the pectin and boil for 1 minute, then add your sugar according to your taste. We're going to start out trying this batch at 2 cups since I did let them set for a few days and get riper, so they are sweeter. So that's where we're at. Okay, you can see it bubbling here, boiling up. It's been going a few. The foaminess is normal. We swapped out the masher to get all the berries because the other one was just too spacey. So anyhow, it's time now to pull this and strain it through the sieve. Now, I cannot find my stinking stand that goes with it, so it's going to be a nightmare, but let's get this moved off here and get it straining. Okay, so it's going to be difficult because, well, everything I do is difficult. Hold on a minute, let me get help. That'll be making life easier.
Where?
Okay, I got help here.
Let's see.
3rd-degree burns are cool. Ow! Shoot!
Scoop.
Not that cool.
Not done.
Okay, smarter part is scooping to strain. Alright, so this is the pulping juice here. I gotta have 6 cups, like I said. Well, because of who I am as a person, I've told y'all multiple times, I'm a mess. When I'm canning, it's just, everything's everywhere. It looks like a smoothie. It's so pretty. Anyhow, it's sour. It is sour. I may end up with 3 cups in it. I've tasted the juice. It's pretty bitter. Now I got to measure out 6 cups, put it back in that pan then, and then take it from there with getting it going. So I'll add in the sugar, or no, the pectin, and then let it come to a boil. And then from there, we'll decide whether or not we have enough sugar as 2 cups or if I want to add more. Again, this is to taste. If you like it super sour, which I like super sour, but may talk about eye twitching sour there. So this will be close on the 6 cups. We squeezed out best we could. But it's a lot of pulp. I mean, there's still some juice in it. But that's a lot of berry pulp. So we might have to do some more pushing on it. We'll see. We'll see. That's why I've got it saved back here, just in case I need more for the 6 cups. Okay, that was exactly 6 cups out of that. So, sweet, go us. That's the jam. Not the jam, the juice. Whatever, I'll get it right in a minute. Okay, 6 cups of juice. The sugar-free pectin. Now, see what it looks like, just like the regular pectin. Maybe a little bit more creamy color to it. Now, this cooks to a boil and boil it for 1 solid minute. And then from there we add sugar and then we'll taste test. With this pectin, you have to boil the pectin a minute before you add sugar. Otherwise, the sugar kills the properties in it. Won't let it set up. So, it's going to be a long time, you know, watch pot never boils kind of thing. So, we'll come back to it. Alright, it's been boiling for 1 minute. It is solid rolling boil. We're going to add 2 cups of sugar out of my jar here. And then we'll taste it once it's all dissolved in there and mixed in there. Make sure it is not too sour. So we'll taste it here in just a minute. Get it all mixed up and good. Okay, so I got to keep a constant stir, but I want to give it a taste too. Give it a fair taste. See what I think here, but I want to scorch my lips, my tongue, my taste buds, all that there off. So let's see. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I like it. Yep, that's good stuff. I ain't adding no more sugar. 2 cups makes it good. It's got that tartness to it. Yep, I like it. So this is definitely if you like sour things. Not for the sweet lovers because it's not sweet. Anyhow, bring it back to a boil. Boil it for another minute or so longer. Then we'll remove it from heat, add it into jars. We'll leave it up to 1/4 inch of head space once we get it to the jars. And then it's a water bath can. So let me just get this timer going here. Okay, it's been boiling for a little over a minute, almost 2 minutes, you know, whatever. So remove it off the heat to the other side of the stove. Take a trip with me. There we go. And now we'll start ladling it into hot jars. Now, mind you, my canner is outside. Jars are made hot in the oven with me because I just don't have that kind of capacity to boil jars and then use the I just can't. I just don't like, I don't know, I just don't do it. So anyhow, jars are in the oven. Remove jars 1 at a time, 2 at a time, whatever. Get them, fill a hot jar to a hot jelly into a hot jar into a hot canner. That's a hot pack method. Okay, I do have this jar with, this is not hot. So anyhow, follow this here around the rim that the lid screws on with, and that'll be how you help to measure your head space. So like this is like barely anything. Follow it down. You get down to about 1/4 inch or so, about here. You can do up to there. I never go 1/4 inch. I always go a little bit more on the head space. Down here to be about 1/2 inch when you follow the rim down. This here to the neck of the jar will be about 1 inch of head space. With jelly, I go between 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Just depends on kind of where it hits at. But yeah, so that's how much room we'll leave at the top of the jar for the air to make the jar to seal. So that's called head space. So we'll do that with the jars back here. I just wanted to do that with this one because it's cool and I won't burn myself while I'm showing you that. Funnel, put it in the hot jar back here in the back. Get that close up there to that. Get my ladle, and I'm just going to ladle the jelly into the jars. Now the foam is fine. It's just not always pretty to look at. You can put a smidge of butter in there, but honestly, I didn't. Clearly, you didn't see me do it. Didn't do it. So I'm going to ladle this. This is an 8-ounce jelly jar. The funnel does keep you from making messes in here. And then you can see back here how full we are. So we're at right about 1/2 inch or so. So that's about perfect. So let's keep on filling these jars. So you can see I got all the jars filled up here. I'd taste it again just because it's super good. Anyhow, get most important thing you do when you're canning, not most important, but one of the most important things you can do when you're canning is wipe your rim. Wipe it really, really good. Jelly's sticky. Therefore, I did dampen this towel, this paper towel here, and that way I can clean off the tops really well. If you leave any kind of sugar or particles or anything on the lid, then or on the rim of it here, then you will prevent a seal. more than likely. I mean, it's a very small chance it will seal, but why take it when it just takes you 2 seconds to wipe the rim off? So anyhow, wipe your rims. Wipe them really, really well. And then as soon as all the rims are wiped, then you go about placing your lids in your bands. So we'll do that next. But for now, let me get all these rims wiped up. Okay, this is your lid or your flat. This is the rubber compounded gaskety whatever thingy you want to call it that goes on the rim. So put it over here on top of it. This is your band. I don't know what else you call that. It's a band. Anyhow, put it on there. Now, the important rule, because I do mess this up a lot, because I think I have to manhandle. Hold on, let me find a towel. Okay, I'm back. Is finger tight just right. So you're supposed to use your 3 fingers here and put it on. 3 fingers, tight enough. I think I have to wrench them on because I think I have to manhandle everything. And then I always kinkle my lids. Always. I don't care what I do. Most of the time they still seal, but it's just a jeopardy of your seal. Might not make it last. Make sure you use this first if you do kinkle them. But finger tight, just right. Okay, now mind you, I said I was canning outside. I'm trying not to run the stove on everything. Plus I had like 3 other things happening. So I needed another space. So I'm going to can these outside in a water bath canner. It is already going. It is a hot bath. So this is my jar lifter. Plastic handle, round, grippy, spins, or not grippy, spins, handle. This is the part, see how it looks like a jar? I'm going to reach down, I'm going to pick up my jar with it like so, and there you go. There's your jar. That's how you pick it up. That's how we're going to use it. That's how I'll set it down into the canner outside that is going at a rolling boil because I have other jars in there, not related to the jelly. It is also a water bath. This is called multitasking at its finest, I guess. Okay, you can hear the canner going. It's at a full boil. Put the jars in with the lifter like I showed you. Getting hot jelly, hot jars, hot everything. It is a 10-minute water bath on these. Since it is boiling already, after I get them all in there, put the lid back on. Okay, set the timer for 10 minutes. And then in 10 minutes time, this jelly will be done. And when you are water bathing, you're supposed to have the jars completely submerged in water. As you can see, is happening as I'm going in here with the more jars I go. It is completely going to be covered in water. And there we go. So in 10 minutes time, we'll come back out and get what's it called? My mind is gone. We'll get them out, take them, and set them up to cool. Meantime, there we go. 10 minutes. 10 minutes are up. So with that, time to get these jars out. Ah! Oh no, never mind. I thought it fell over, but it didn't. So 10 minutes up. Reach in here with the lifter, do the exact opposite of putting them in. And then I would take them in the house and set them on the counter where they will then cool 12 to 24 hours or so. So with that, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here, but y'all don't need to watch me take every bloody jar out. Okay, they're out. You can see I've got space in between each jar so that they have like even cooling room and everything. And then if you look right here, there's that kinkle I was talking about because I think I have to manhandle everything. So with this, now we just leave them be and wait for them to ping. And that's it. That is water bath canning, homemade autumn olive jelly, or jam. It's jam.